Claire Holcomb was born in Korea on December 26, 2005. Just 1 year later, she was adopted by an American family and taken to North Carolina, where she would spend the next 5 years of her life. When Claire was 6, her family moved to Hong Kong, where they became permanent residents. She built a life there, graduating both primary school and middle school in Hong Kong. The world she lived in was no longer the American world she lived in as an infant. And here she stayed. She stayed for 9 long years. During this time, she built a community. She built close relationships with friends. She built her own family, and this was her home. But one day, everything changed. After her freshman year in high school, Claire's family had to move back to North Carolina. This was one of the hardest times in her life. Her whole world was turned upside down.
Overall, I would say it was pretty distressing because I wasn't just leaving somewhere I'd lived for X amount of years and just, moving on. It was stopping one life for the past 8 years that we spent making like a home for ourselves. And so, like when we moved, we just kind of started back at square one.
After moving back to the US, Claire is struggling between balancing her American and Asian identities.
The Korean genes dictate that I enjoy eating kimchi, but I decided I would only eat that at home, so I could fit in more, I guess.
Claire has experienced firsthand that there is no such thing as a singular American identity. As she is the only Asian in her entire grade, she feels isolated. And she feels the most American anywhere except for America.
Yeah, because the thing is that everyone says America is some big melting pot, but I just didn't feel like the people around me.
No matter how much Claire tries to manipulate her identity and become a more quote-unquote American, she will never be able to fully fit in. One time, when doing something as simple as getting Mexican food with her dad, Claire felt her identity being challenged.
Two ladies, they're middle-aged white soccer moms kind of, and they turn around and they look at me and they ask if am I okay. They asked me who the man I was with was. Did I need help? And I quickly realized that they, first of all, don't think I'm from America. Second of all, they don't think my dad is my dad.
Being an adoptee, Clara struggled with her identity her whole life. However, the US was given to her as a home, and she's not about to give up on that. Although she misses aspects of her Hong Kong identity, she remains hopeful towards her future in the US, and she hopes to find her own American identity.